from the far corner of Triangle Alley, below the whooshing sound of a sparkling TR-3B, at the edge of a dark forest where lumbering beasts dwell. It's Beyond the Beyond with Tanner Rush.
Beyond the Beyond. Strange happenings in Las Vegas. Far above a military base in 29 Palms, California, a triangular craft the size of a football field was spotted hovering silently above the Mojave Desert. The military fired illumination rounds toward the object, and it is said to have been witnessed by more than 50 people. Famed Las Vegas journalist George Knapp, who I had the pleasure of meeting, and UFO researcher Jeremy Corbell released the footage on their UFO-themed podcast, Weaponized. It echoes the famed 1997 Phoenix lights, where a similar object was seen moving over Phoenix, Arizona. Even the governor, Fife Symington, witnessed that one. But what happened over the military base? A mortarman who recorded the object with his cell phone had this to say. One of my buddies was outside. He was looking at the sky and said that it just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And we all came out and looked, and then slowly like 50 plus people started coming out and looking. Those lights appeared out of nowhere. Strangely enough, other small objects were also seen circling the triangular craft before it quite literally blinked out of existence. Was it an alien craft? Flares? Maybe it was the long thought to exist but never confirmed military craft TR-3B. In other news, former intelligence and Air Force officer David Grush claimed that the United States government has a secret UFO retrieval program and is in possession of non-human spacecraft and dead pilots. Allegedly, information on this program and its findings is being withheld from Congress. I don't know about you, but as soon as I read former intelligence officer, I stopped paying attention. Is there any such thing as a former intelligence officer? Maybe we should ask Richard Doty. If Grush was leaking this valuable information, don't you think he'd have a serious price to pay, like prison time? Maybe this is, as the tinfoil hat crowd might say, all part of Project Bluebeam, the slow drip disclosure designed to acclimate the American public to the possible threat of alien life. Years of whistleblowers, leaked documents, and grainy black and white footage that all culminates in a fake alien invasion designed to unite the planet in a one-world government and give those who are really in charge more control. Or maybe I've been reading too much David Icke. Our third and final story comes from Las Vegas, Nevada, where I lived for many years before moving to the Owens Valley. After sundown, a Vegas father and his two sons were in their backyard working on a truck when something mysterious happened. One of them called 911 to report that something had crashed in their yard, and that something else had emerged from whatever had crashed. We just see in the corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with lights, and when it hit down, there was like a big impact, and we felt like an energy. And then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us. And then we have like a big equipment. And we see there's like an 8-foot person beside it and another one's inside. And it has big eyes and it's looking at us, the caller told the 911 dispatcher. They're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot, and they're not human. Like, strangely enough, an officer's body cam caught a bright green light flash across the sky shortly after the 911 call was made. Police showed up and interviewed the family, conducted a search, but no aliens were found. I reached out to a MUFON investigator, Jeanette LaTulipe, who personally spoke with the family in Las Vegas regarding the alien beings allegedly seen in their yard. Me. What'd you find out about the UFO in Vegas? Her. According to the American Meteorological Society, the blue-green object that fell from the sky was a meteor. It lit up the sky in parts of Nevada, Texas, Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico. Having examined how the object fell to Earth, I concur with the Meteor Society's finding. Me. And what about the supposed witness who claimed they saw 10 feet tall alien beings in their backyard? Her. I interviewed their 16-year-old son on June 14, 2023 at 12:30 p.m. To my knowledge, George Knapp and Channel 8 made arrangements to interview them twice, and each time they were greeted by a closed door. It was difficult at first to start communicating with them. Their tendency was to run me off. Nonetheless, I persuaded them to give an interview. I started slow, talking to Angel, who was one of the witnesses, in his driveway. His father came up to me, spoke to me for a bit. Then he decided it was okay for Angel to talk to me. Angel gave me his father's name, and I wanted him to repeat his last name, but instead Angel gave me a different first name for his father, and none or nothing for his last name. Still standing in the driveway, I asked Angel if they had cameras. He whipped around defensively and asked why I wanted to know that. I told him it was part of the investigation and I wanted to see what was on them. Me. What did the yard look like? Her. They had a metal type of an open carport next to their garage. It was the only structure in the area that I could see yellow lettering boldly painted on its roof that could be seen from the air from which the house could be identified from above. I did not get far enough into the investigation to find out if drops were being made or if anything else was going on. The airport was not that far away from them. Me, how did the interview go? Her, I was invited to go inside to conduct the interview with their son Angel. I brought in all of my testing equipment, condensed into 2 cases. Angel said he had not done this before, when in fact he had, which was lie number 1, and he had been in a video regarding the matter. He said the FBI came to their home as well as other agencies, but he would not name them for me. Most of what transpired can be found on the internet. He told me that what he was telling me he had not told to anyone else. He said he was traumatized by the incident. However, when telling me his stories, he looked at me to check my reaction and had what I felt was a bit of glee in his expression at times, while getting deeper into his stories. At these times, his alleged trauma did not seem to be present. He also told me about a supposed paranormal incident that took place in his bedroom closet. I told him, let's go and check out some of these things. He shook his head. No. Again, I told him, come on, let's go. He shook his head no again. At that time, his father was coming in from the outside, having finished with his clients. His father said he was too traumatized and said he saw what Angel allegedly saw. However, on June 10th, he posted an insectoid, humanoid-looking being in a video on YouTube. Later on, the video was analyzed and was debunked because it was found to be bogus. Angel asked me to come back on the 15th so I could finish and gather my samples. I tried to be accommodating, asking which time we would prefer. He said 3 to 4 p.m., but I was to call first. The day I arrived, I called several times, but Angel would never answer his phone. I called the following day. His father had Angel's phone in his possession. He hung the phone up when I called. My conclusion is that this case is a hoax because the son was caught in a lie, fabricated a strange being in a video he made, and would rather tell his tale and derive an income for the many hits he has received on his YouTube channel rather than get evidence that may have substantiated his claim. So what happened that fateful night in June of 2023 in the backyard of Angel and his dad's house? Was it aliens, a lie, or maybe just some really good drugs that were to blame? I'm reminded of Charles James Hall's tall white aliens that he wrote about in a series of books called Millennial Hospitality. These strange creatures allegedly lived underground near Indian Springs, which isn't too far from where this incident allegedly took place. They could supposedly pilot crafts capable of faster than light speed. They had the appearance of angels and would occasionally dress up to go gambling on the Strip. Now, I saw some weird things in my time in Vegas, but a 10-foot-tall, white-haired angelic being playing megabucks was not one of them. I've personally seen the footage that was presented by the contactees, and I use that term very, very lightly. It definitely shows something, but the footage appears to have been taken with a Motorola Razr. Have you had a 10-foot-tall alien land in your backyard, just kind of look at you for a few minutes and then blast off back into the sky at hyperspeed? Let us know at Beyond the Beyond 1 on Instagram.